Welcome everybody to our coverage of the 2021 Pro Masters Disc Golf World Championships in Johnson City, Tennessee, powered by Infinite Discs. You are watching MP50 Lead Card Round 2 Front 9 coverage, brought to you by us here at BDub Pro. Today's commentary will be provided by myself, Cameron Makiling, and my friend Grant Zellner from the PDGA. Let's hop right into these player profiles. Up first, Patrick Brown out of Austin, Texas, who took 4th in the 2019 Masters World Championships. Up next is Barry Schultz out of Hamptonville, North Carolina, who took 2nd in MP40 in the 2019 Masters Worlds. Third is Russell Britt from Tulsa, Oklahoma, who did not compete in the previous World Championships. And last but not least is Ron Convers, your defending MP50 World Champion out of Blackwell, Oklahoma. And here we are at Hole 1. Today's flyovers are provided courtesy of our friends at Ace Run Pro. 638 feet, par 4. This is a pretty big hole to start off with. Were you able to catch this first hole?
No doubt about it. That road up there on the left side, just close enough to get in your head when you're trying to throw a shot that's going to take a lot off of your second shot here. So players definitely thinking about that as they step up to this tee box.
Yeah, this is a big hole to start off with. I know this is not, this is regularly the regular hole 1. Players are saying it's a little different layout than they're used to. The locals are.
Mm-hmm. It is. I overheard some players talking about that, but that's a nice shot there.
Good rip from Barry Schultz.
Right out there with Patrick Brown. Flirting with that road just a little bit. No problem, though. Hell of a nice angle.
Oh, looks like that might be a little close to the inside, but if he can miss... Oh, misses the tree. Perfect.
Shot goes from to really good, awfully quick.
Ron Con, the defending MP50 champion, world champion. Ooh, it's a little early tree. Gonna be a little further back than he might want, but not a bad drive. Ooh, Russell Britt in a tree early. Got quite a bit left to bite off on his third throw there.
Ron and I hail from Oklahoma. Ron lives a little further north in the state than I. He'll have a circle's edge putt, more or less.
Ooh, Barry Schultz going with a nice little hyzer flip up to flat. Ooh, late tree, but he should have a look at a putt. I would argue that's right inside Barry Schultz range.
No doubt about it. Here's Patrick. Needs that left finish. Not a bad shot at all.
Not bad. Inside circle, I believe. Ron Con from just outside circle's edge.
Money.
Spin putts at home for a birdie. What a way to start your round.
Feels so good starting a round off with a putt like that.
I think it's really cool to start on such a birdieable hole. Tough putt.
Gets it to settle. Rollaway is a definite possibility on a number of holes today with the topography changes here in... we're actually just outside of Tennessee. We're just over the state line in Virginia.
We are, yeah. The kind of spread out the 3 courses that we'll be seeing here at Masters Worlds this year, but they are all so unique and beautiful. It's really cool to have a variety of courses out here. This one has a lot. There will be a lot of rollaways. Spoiler alert. Great putt from Barry and a tap-in bogey there from Russell Britt, and we are going to head on to hole 2. 663-foot par 4, another big one. Getting the big throws out of the way early, it kind of seems like. This one, you just want to stay in the middle of the fairway and get yourself down there and a little bit to the left. This is a big open one. There is OB on the road to the right, but I don't think that's going to come into play for these guys.
Not really. I think a lot of them are thinking more about this sort of side hill, positioning of the pin. These guys are going to want to have a flat stance if they can, for the most part, throughout this round.
Oh, and that's going right over our cameraman Curtis there. And that's a great spot to be
full flight, and look at that flat stance he'll have for his upshot.
Doing the same thing, heading right for Curtis, it looks like. Oh, Curtis is backing up, running away. Barry Schultz got a kick out of that one. They're all going with a really nice flex shot here.
Ron needs this to come out and finish left.
Wow, that was
so.
A lot closer to the OB than I thought we'd see somebody be. But I guess when you want that flat footing, you're willing to risk that OB side.
That's a theme that'll come back later on this round for sure. Russ. Out in the middle.
Great second throw. Going to get himself right under the basket pretty much.
He needed that after that bogey on 1.
Yeah, he's definitely looking to make it up right here. Roncon throwing it in around the tree. Oh, and he just a little bit long. Going to be about 40 feet.
Coming in with a sharp angled disc. That's experience right there. He knew the shape of the green here would help that disc to settle very quickly if he brought it in on a steep angle like that.
Oh, and that was some great ground play from Patrick Brown. He has so much power in his spin putt. Probably just a little right there for Roncon, though.
Something I noticed Barry during the round today, he never takes those putts for granted. Even those 15-footers, he really, really focuses hard on those.
He really does, yeah. And you'll see later on in the round, just he has no problem taking a minute to pause and reset his composure if something goes on in the background or something. Very, very composed player. And a great birdie there from Russ to make up for that bogey on hole 1. And we're off to hole 3. 306-foot par 3, very slanted fairway. And you are going to be throwing and hoping that you can hit the angle right to stick the landing and not roll all the way down to the left.
Yeah, these guys throwing backhands definitely can find themselves skipping over to where they're going to have a much more obstructed putt or even a much more obstructed putt shot than they anticipate. They're going to have to really watch their angle on these 2 shots.
Patrick Brown maintaining the box. Don't know if that's going to turn enough for him. He might be a little far left.
Drifting a little bit. Pin high for sure, but definitely down that hill.
Barry going with the similar line. Got a little more turn out of his disc, though. Oh, yeah. Puts it right under the basket, pretty much. He's got a 10-footer.
Once again, that left finish on these discs going to push him a lot further away.
Yeah, and he even got that skip gave another 10, 15 feet to the left there. Something interesting I've noticed with these Masters players is you don't see nearly as many forehands as you do with the younger guys in the MPO field. These players tend to prefer the turnover backhand shot, I've noticed.
They really do.
Oh, wow, what a run.
Speaks to the era that they sort of came up in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Really. 2 great runs, and there
it is.
We need to...
Oh, it's still going.
We need to have a roll-away counter today, I feel like.
I know. I should have done one.
That's one. That's one.
I was surprised I was able to follow that roll for as long as I did. Oh, twice in a row off the front of the cage. Great birdie there from Roncon.
Downhill putt, too. Excellent composure. Ron's game really predicated around a lot of control.
Very much so. Yeah, between him and Barry, I don't think I've ever watched 2 players that have so much composure and focus on the course.
These guys are so great to watch. If you're an amateur player like I am, I feel like you can learn so much from how these gentlemen think their way around the course. I love watching the pros, the younger guys bomb those 600-foot tee shots, but I can't learn very much from that. I can learn from these guys.
Right, exactly. Yeah, there's definitely a lot more I garner from watching these rounds. Hole 4, 480-foot par 4. This one kind of tucks into the woods here, and you've got some hilly terrain you got to get over. A little mound we're kind of flying over right here, and it kind of drops down a little bit, and the basket is going to be out here in the open for the most part.
Yeah, that undulating terrain certainly messes with your thought process in terms of what kind of vertical space you're going to have. We talk a lot about horizontal windows, getting between two trees, but we don't talk as much sometimes about the width of the window up and down, and you see right there, Barry.
Yeah, that is a very, not only is it narrow, but it's also very short. Low ceiling, tight gap. Roncon finds the gap, almost finds the cameraman, gets right behind him. Yeah, this course was pretty fun. We had to put Curtis in some very interesting spots in order to be able to get, you know, with the way the terrain is and some of the trees, he had to get really risky with it today, and we had some fun doing that. See if Patrick can get all the way through. Oh, gets stopped very early by that bush, before the hill even.
Probably looking at just the top of the basket from his vantage point there, and that is enough to get him a circle's edge look.
Great throw. I know I couldn't see it, but Patrick is about 3 or 4 inches taller than me, so he did have a view of the basket from there.
He's a big, athletic guy.
He is.
If you've never stood next to him, camera doesn't do justice to just how big he is. Really strong.
Yeah, you can. I should hit him up for his workout regimen, because I could definitely use some more muscle pounds there. Great throw from Roncon. Looking at 4 pretty textbook putts here. Great putt. Awesome birdie there from Patrick Brown.
Gets those gremlins out of his mind from that roll away on the previous hole.
Oh, a skip and a roll.
Yep, that's one more for the counter.
There we go. Good par save, though, from Russell. Excellent birdie there from Ron.
Ron, known for his hat. A lot of people can tell who that is across the course because of that hat that he often wears. I noticed he takes it off sometimes. I feel like he likes to have it off when he feels like the tee shot in particular is really, really constricted, and you'll notice that later on this round a couple of times.
Yeah, actually, when he took his hat off, I did make a comment to him, and I was like, hey, how are the people watching the coverage going to know who you are now? Anyways, hole 5, short and simple. You just want to go straight ahead and put it on the green, ideally even a little bit to the left so you can hit the hillside and not be looking at an uphill putt.
Absolutely. This is a really interesting hole just because of that extreme slope coming off of this, I believe it's a dam.
Actually, what I had heard, a local was explaining to me while we were walking the course, this whole area down to the right was supposed to be a lake at one point, but they couldn't get it to hold water, so now it's just a big hill, a depression in the ground that we get to play disc golf around.
Well, their loss is our gain. Great shot by Ron. Distance control a premium on this hole, given all of the various results you could end up having, and also by Patrick there, again, distance control.
And that ditch is honestly not a very bad place to be at all. Probably get better footing in there than you can on the hillside right above it. Ooh, a little to the right. He's got a long putt here. Great bid.
Yeah, he really lost any opportunity to skip any closer. Not a lot of skipping today off of these tee shots. You'll notice this grass is thick here in extreme West Virginia.
I believe we're just in regular Virginia.
Western regular Virginia, lowercase w. Ron again, another solid birdie.
Great bird from Patrick Brown. We're going to see a couple of tap-ins. I guess Russell's isn't technically a tap-in, but when you're as good as these guys are, it is. I've missed those putts before, though.
Kind of a funny stance.
Easy money.
Close enough, it's not a concern.
Barry going to tap in after some unfortunate basket action.
He'll want to get that one back.
Me and my brother and my dad were out there for hours just playing disc golf, having fun.
That's like one of the first things we usually say. It's a great family sport.
We got to do it as a family.
It builds relationship. Like, I know my dad so much better because of disc golf.
It's nice that that's something that we can connect and go do together.
My parents are 100% behind it. Bad rounds, good rounds, doesn't matter. They always have a smile on their face.
We don't call it sacrifice, we call it fun.
Get out there and have fun. At the end of the day, most important is have fun.
And we're back at hole 6, 385-foot par 3. You got a tight window kind of off the tee pad, and then after that it opens right up. But the basket is on a hillside that kind of runs up away from you at the end there.
Yeah, a bit of a backstop for you. If you can get it there, you won't go too long, that's for sure.
Yeah, luckily, totally, this hillside takes those trees behind it completely out of play, I would argue. Unless you get some insane height off your drive. Ron gets a little bit of tree action, but that's still going to push out there for him. Fought right through it. Long putt there. Maybe 67 feet, 70 feet.
Patrick shaping it around that very last tree, flexing back. Look at that.
Oh my goodness. He's got a tap in for a birdie there, and that's exactly how you want to attack this hole.
Barry wants to match that line.
And he pretty much does. Just a little bit more right, a little more turn for him, but he's going to be pin deep, looking at an easy bird.
Oh, early tree.
But the tree kick helped him more than I think than it should have.
Yeah, his reaction was, oh!
Yeah, his whole card was very, very surprised by that. They thought he might have planned it. Good run, taking full use of that backstop there. Just a little left for him.
Sit down, Ron. There we go. All right, no problem.
Easy 2 for Barry Schultz.
Once again, really paying a lot of attention to these putts that are well within inside the circle.
Easy par there for Ron. And a fantastic tap-in birdie there from Patrick Brown after absolute crush of a drive.
Patrick still talking about that rollaway on 3 at this point in his round, and as he made that putt, talking about how he felt like he was finally making up for that bit of bad luck.
Yeah, and Patrick also had mentioned throughout most of the round that he was feeling nervous. You know, he was even saying like he couldn't figure out why. He hasn't felt this nervous in a while, he was saying. So it's interesting to see him perform so well while dealing with these nerves he kept complaining about or just commenting on. Hole 7, 398-foot par 3, nice and downhill there for him. Still kind of a push out, but you want to just land flat there and not push it long or left into the trees. That's the real error I could see being made, is stalling out too much and getting more hyzer than you think you're going to with this big drop down. Kind of like that.
Definitely put it way more nose up than Patrick intended to.
Nice and flat there from Barry. Oh, a little hard of a skip, but that should be an easy putt there for him.
If you notice, the green slightly downhill from the player's vantage point. It's not quite flat yet, so those skips for those shots that are pin high definitely going to carry long. Ron, no worries. Short. Russ counting on a skip and hitting that taller grass, not quite getting it.
That is a big bid, but he's going to buy himself an easy par there.
Patrick from 50 or so.
Nice little layup.
Ron!
Oh, showing us that spin putting is still cool. Almost hits it. See if Barry can knock this one down. There's a birdie.
Stroke on the card for Barry right there. It's a big move.
Going to take the lead with that one. put Patrick down a stroke.
Cleaning up their pars here, knowing that they've got some wooded holes in their very near future, so stretching out just a little bit before we go back in the tight stuff.
Little tap in there for Pat. He was not too stoked, but he wasn't too upset. Speaking of tight, we are here at hole 8, 223 foot par 3. You got to throw it down this hallway of trees. Keep it straight and narrow, and maybe get a little bit of fade at the end or towards the basket. This is the kind of hole I have nightmares about, man. Like this, while it's very beautiful, this haunts me. These are so hard. This is the hardest kind of shot I think exists in the sport.
Yeah, it's just long enough. You've got to throw it hard off the tee. And that's exactly what Barry's going to try to do.
Gets the perfect amount of late turn. Oh my goodness, under the basket. And if I could throw like that, I wouldn't have nightmares about holes like this.
Patrick Brown stepping up, throwing a dead straight shot and bouncing twice off of those hallway edge trees.
Fantastic ground play there. Not as fortunate for Ron Con, and he's going to be a little off the fairway. Oh, great skip from Russ. Puts it inside the circle for him. Easy putt.
Ron pretty obstructed from here, having to go out and around and almost cans it.
He's such a great putter. It's exciting to watch these dudes bang him out from 35 feet. And that's just bad luck.
He was definitely a little bit outside the heart of the chains. That didn't really punch through. It was more of a
grab and drop.
Right miss, yeah.
Good birdie there from Patrick. And we're going to watch Barry Schultz tap in after a literal perfect drive. The only way it could have been better is if it went in the basket. Easy par there for Russ after a sad missed putt there for Bird.
Still has a smile on his face, though. He knows he's playing disc golf and not sitting behind a desk somewhere. So.
Very true. Hole 9, if you thought the last hole was scary, this is the same thing, but a little longer and straighter, even harder in my opinion, to keep something that straight for 310 feet. I think after watching the last hole, though, we're not going to see these guys have too much of a problem with something like this.
Really dark back in these woods. This is the middle of the afternoon. You get some idea of how truly thick the woods are when you realize how little sun is really punching through there. A little low, found a root there.
Just outside the circle.
Patrick really liked this out of his hand and then caught the base of that tree.
Yeah, and he was even saying he wanted it to kick right, and it kicked a little left for him. Not a bad drive overall. That is really good. If it can get a little... Ooh, not as much ground play as he might have wanted, but he'll have a circle 2 putt. And that is exactly what you're trying to not do on this hole, and you're going to have to scramble pretty hard to get back into that alleyway.
Russ, another tree, 2 in a row.
And there it is. He finds the gap and gets back in the hallway and almost up to circle's edge.
Very similar putt to what Ron had on the last hole. Something he's going to have to break around a late tree.
Oh, what a good run, though.
Again, nearly cans it.
Probably 55 feet out. Oh, just a little low. This is for 4 here. Gonna have a tap in for his double bogey.
Patrick from a knee.
Wow, what a great putt to save the birdie and pick up a stroke on the card there.
Cleaning up here, all the guys made it through the second hallway.
And gonna see an unfortunate orange double bogey here for Russ. And that's going to do it for our front 9 coverage. Taking a quick look at the scorecards, you can see that Patrick Brown and Barry Schultz are currently tied for the lead at neg 18. Barry shooting 1 stroke better in this front 9. Russell Britt having a little bit of a difficulty, and then Ron Con just holding down. No bogeys for him. Follow us at PDGA on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or head to pdga.com and join. Easy.